Welcome, folks. This is Dr. Herbert Harris with another edition of Success Talk. These are conversations with people who have faced overwhelming odds and done whatever it takes to make a breakthrough. Today, we have an incredible superstar, author, entrepreneur, Sir Markadoo. Welcome, my
Yes.
friend.
Thank you, man. Well, thank you for the welcome, man. I appreciate this. I
Well,
do.
I tell you, man, I was reading through some of your website, and you've done just about everything: talk show host, radio person, author, mental health advocate. Man, how do you keep up with yourself?
Oh man, that's not the most easiest thing in the world. But the old saying. I wish I had another one of me, but that God done broke the mold. There's no way he could create another one of this.
Say God say, okay, one's enough.
That wasn't enough. It's funny.
Well, good brother. Now, tell a little about your background, because you've done so much. Where did you come from? Where did you grow up?
I came from Beantown, Boston, Massachusetts.
Uh huh.
Grew up right around Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, if anybody know where that is. And I ran those streets, man. I got but matter of fact, I was molested by a girl at 8 years old. It really wore me out.
Mm,
It wore me out. But and then I got through that. Then my uncle started molesting me, and
mm,
that was a tragedy. And at the age of 13, I was ready to give it up. I was going to commit suicide, and I didn't. But I'm glad I didn't, because at the age of 10, I started to. I realized nobody was really watching me and really nurturing me. So I realized that I'm able to move around the community the way I want at 10 years old. As long as I stayed close, but I would venture out a little bit. And I was mature at the age of
mm-hmm.
10. So I just started being an entrepreneur, and I was very successful. I was a very successful entrepreneur. I taught myself a lot of stuff. Yeah.
What was your first business?
Like every other kid, selling candy and, and pixie sticks and that kind of stuff, and potato chips and whatever I can get my hands on, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, now that you know, 'cause, you don't see that too much now with kids these days.
Why? Because the parents, because society has changed.
Uh huh.
It's harder for the parents are very watchful of the kids and really don't take care. We don't have entrepreneurial mindset parents, even back in my day. So what went around is coming back around. Nothing changes. Nothing changes unless it changes in your household. That's when
Mm,
it starts to change.
mm-hmm.
It's got to change your heart and your mind, of course. If it starts to change your mind, you can be your own boss.
Wow. Well, that's something I hope that our young people now get more into, that, because in those days you had to be an entrepreneur yourself, period, to survive, really. Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of people, I mean, a lot of the kids that were around me, they weren't entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't doing that. So I mean, it's weird. I like I said, I don't think it really changed. I think the percentages are still the same.
Mm,
I really do. I think the percentages are really the same. That
mm.
the kids are not is they're not really into the entrepreneur.
Okay, they're not. I got you. All right, you'll come back on in a minute. Wow. Hey, folks, we're having a great conversation with Sir Markadoo. And let's see, he's going to get right back on. The internet goes and comes. There we go. All right, welcome back. Let's see, get your voice on here now. Let me unmute you.
Yep.
There,
Sorry
there
about
we
that.
go. Yeah, no problem. Well, one of the last jobs I had was, you remember the club in Boston? What was it? The Sugar Shack?
Oh yeah. What you know about that?
Well, I used to work with a guy named Richard Barrett. Richard Barrett was a producer. He wrote the song Maybe. Remember the Chantels?
Uh-uh.
I might be older than you, but he used to go, maybe if I pray every night, you'll come back to me. Oh, maybe, 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 maybe. But
Uh-uh. Definitely keep that day job, bro, going. Don't never give up there. Oh,
well, Richard Barrett produced the Chantels. He produced the Three Degrees, and they were playing at the Sugar Shack. The Sugar Shack was one of the main stops, man, on the black music circuit.
yep, downtown, right
Yes,
there,
sir.
the Boston Commons.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, that was the
Tremont.
spot. Yep,
Yep.
yep. So you started out as an entrepreneur. You have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I did. I did. I did. They all passed away. It was five
Mm-hmm.
of us. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
only one left. You
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost my mother, father, everybody. They're gone.
Well, as you grew up in Boston, did there come a time that you really got heavily into business?
Yeah. I mean, when I really got, you know, into really the business world, um, I started with really, believe it or not, A.L. Williams.
Okay.
Well, Art Williams.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Just do
yeah,
it.
yeah. Just do it. You
Yeah.
know, and doing it just ain't enough. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I learned some white collar stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I became I really started I really dominated up there in Boston. You know, I
Mm.
was number one in sales, number one in premiums, number one in recruiting, recruiter of the year, and I got recruited. I got promoted 3 times
Mm.
in a short period of time, so it was crazy. You know,
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
time.
Well,
Yeah,
A.L. Williams, those guys, they made money like folks didn't even understand the kind of money they made. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But that was a great foundation. One of my when I moved to Cleveland, old guy Sam Jones, and he was A.L. Williams rep man, and he and I shared offices together. They that base what they call it, the base office. Yeah. Yeah, I worked out of his office. I was doing the water filter business, NSA.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
I
that.
was doing that. I became a national marketing director, and that gave me my freedom. When I actually sold the business and moved on to Cleveland, that really took me to a whole nother level. And so I'm so glad, to really talk to you about that because network marketing, that direct marketing, that used to be the way so many of our people made big money, man, going back to Madam C.J. Walker and Mr. Dudley and, that whole era, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and you know things are like today. You know, it has to be a surge, and I know it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to happen. I'm a believer. I mean, when I pray,
Mm-hmm.
I know what God has done for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, with the people around me, we begin to increase our reach. Um, People's lives are going to change.
Mm.
They're
Mm.
going to change because
Yes.
one of the main reasons why I know is once we begin to deal with mental health the way we're supposed to, in how do we supposed to? We really need to be catering to our youth and young adults, and we're going to create. Believe me, I got the first one. We're going to open up community impact centers
Mm.
in the community. Yeah, at the community impact centers is where we teach. We teach the whole gauntlet of morals and ethics. We teach international branding and marketing. We also teach manufacturing, sales and distribution, and money management. How to
Mm.
make money, spend money, save money, retire money, invest money. You know that whole nine. But youth and young adults are really not interested if you're not going to help them make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a new era now. We got
Yeah.
to these companies. I think a lot of these companies are going to get they're going to get an idea of what to do once our organizations begin to touch society, because
Mm,
we're going to change the way economics is made in this country. It's
yeah.
just the way it is, you know.
Well, coming out of that A.L. Williams had so many people tried network marketing, tried direct marketing, and were not successful. But there was something that certain people had that gave them that ability to hang in there and to make that breakthrough to success. Well, you know how when you get in that kind of business, you meet those barriers and those walls, but something inside you that gave you the ability to do that. So when you were building your organization, what was that thing, that the one or two things that gave you the ability to hang in there and get to that point of being the number one recruiter, the number one person?
Well, I was always the person that was that brought me in.
Mm-hmm.
He was the number one rep in the building in that
Mm,
organization. So so what I did is I got the person that trained him. I got him to train me, and I
mm,
became number one because
okay.
I knew. I said, if you number one, I know I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So so now that's a good point, because so often people go into business and think they don't need a mentor. They don't need somebody to teach them how to do the thing successfully. So you really put a real pin in a very, very important aspect of entrepreneurship, to find someone who knows what they're doing and get them to teach you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so the question is, what's the quickest way to become rich or wealthy?
Okay.
Well, the answer is study rich and wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the number one way to get rich and famous or rich and wealthy
Yes,
is
it.
to study rich and wealthy people.
And then do what they did. Yeah.
Especially if you want to be in that field. And, you know, if I do it to people all the time. They talk about that stuff, and I said, you know, I said, if you want to be like Oprah Winfrey, you say, yeah, I would love to be like Oprah. I said, well, how you gonna do it? And
Mm-hmm.
they'd come up with some crazy questions. I said, won't you study Oprah Winfrey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to be like Oprah Winfrey? Study her.
Yeah. Well, when I was taking the bar exam, I was studying, and one day it dawned on me, don't worry about the law, study the test.
Ah,
you know, and so I've coached people through the bar exam, because say, listen, the test is the test. And if you study the test, the past test, the practice test, and all those sample tests, you're going to get a good idea what it's all about. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So now, as a mentor, when you find that person, as you said, you found the person could who trained the man who was number one, and he said, well, if he trains me, I'll be number one too, and better. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did you sell your AL1 business? How did you move out of that?
Uh, it's gonna be crazy. You're
Uh-huh.
not gonna like this answer. You ain't
Okay.
gonna like this. I started using crack cocaine again.
Okay. All right.
That was the quickest way to ruin my life.
Wow.
Yep. And I'm not scared to say it. I'm
Uh-huh.
not scared to admit it
Uh-huh.
because I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And I know it's part of my story, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You
Uh-huh.
know why I'm gonna lie?
Uh-huh.
You know, I was molested. I was, for 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Now why would I lie about anything else?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a crackhead for
Yeah.
8 years, sniffing heroin. You know,
Wow.
so
So when
God had a good sense of humor when He let me go. I tell
uh-huh.
you.
Well, so often, um, some Markadoo, when people start making big money, they'll start trying all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
And I think that's a good lesson for our young people. A lot of times young people think they're the only ones that's been down the path. You know,
Yep.
you're the first, I'm the only one that's got a drug problem. I'm the only one that lost this and lost that. But when you share your story, that gives you that authenticity. You say, brother, listen, been there, done that, and got a t-shirt to prove it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get through that 8 years of crack cocaine? Now, how did you move from crack cocaine to the next level in your life? So you're A.L. Williams, you're making big money, and that means you're having big fun. Okay.
Yeah. Or big crazy,
Big
you know?
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because making money sent me right back to what I knew best,
Uh-huh.
all that money. I
Yeah.
realized that, is the depression and the mindset wasn't there, that
Hmm.
being molested. My mother saying to us, I should have flushed your ass down the toilet when I had a chance.
Mm.
That kind of stuff wears on a person's brain and mind, you
Hmm.
know? So, people looking, people in my family saying, you ain't shit and you ain't never going to be shit,
Yeah.
young kids don't need to hear that stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it ruins you. But coming out the other side,
Mm.
coming out the other side, it was one night. I
Hmm.
remember this thing. It was like it happened tonight. I was getting high, and all of a sudden that night I fell asleep. But little did I know, I probably wasn't asleep. God would say, "Tonight is your last night."
Mm.
I'm like, "What? You're free to go." I never picked up again. And I tell you this, it was funny because not funny, but it was ironic that God had, uh, I made a deal with the devil, so I had to make a pact with the Lord, right?
Mm. Yeah.
He said, I said, okay, I knew there was, I said, what do you want me to do, Lord? I want you to go out and do what I taught you how to do. I want you to sell, and I want you to now teach my people, and you can go. And that was it. And
Wow.
so what am I doing today? Teaching people all over the place. If you go on YouTube, I got so many how-to videos. Is incredible. And what I speak is on point.
Mm. Mm. And you couldn't know it unless you've been through it.
I
Wow.
know
Wow. But that's something, it seems like that might be a spiritual principle. You think back when Saul was converted to Paul, it was an instantaneous thing. In other words, God appeared, bang, knocked him on his butt, and he was transformed. And a lot of times people don't know that it can happen just like that.
it. Yep. It
Yeah.
does happen like that. When
Mm,
God say be, it be.
mm, wow. So
He
when
don't
you
play.
so now when you woke up from that sleep, what was your first move?
It was amazing. I probably, in my mind, when that happened, I just started praising God. You believe it or not, I had custody of both my boys at that time too.
Mm,
I had full custody of them,
mm-hmm,
and because what I everything that I was thinking about my children, I was like, I'm not gonna see them if I keep this going. This ain't gonna
mm,
last.
mm-hmm,
And it was like that choice. Do you wanna? Do you wanna? Matter of fact, I asked my son, my oldest. I said, "Do you want to see me stop getting high?" He said, "Yeah." That was
mm-hmm.
it. I never did it again.
Wow. Wow.
Never,
So
never
now
touched
So now, when you made that move, now you were still in business. You were still making money though, because you got to have money supply to support the crack habit,
it.
right?
It was yeah, but it was funny because I always had a little money. I always had a little. I knew ways to get money. So um, I was so happy to be free for that. It took me some time to really get my bearings right. But matter of fact, I started working out
Mm,
and I started getting my body right.
mm. Okay.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
helped me a lot
Yeah.
because working out is discipline.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the discipline, you're not gonna make it.
Mm.
And
Well,
that's with anything.
now that's one of those nuggets. Discipline. Discipline
Yeah,
is key. Yeah.
yeah,
That means you got to be self-disciplined. Even more
yeah,
important, they give you discipline in prison, but you have to have self-discipline.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You better because you won't have it no other way.
Mm-hmm.
You won't get it no other way. You're not about self. You'll never reach wealth.
Ooh.
Uh,
If you're not about self, you'll never reach wealth. Brother, you dropping diamonds like boom, boom.
The big old diamonds too, huh? And
Uh-huh.
some of them are still, some of them still got coal wrapped around them, man.
Well, you know, we often say the difference between a diamond and a piece of coal is pressure. The,
Yes.
the chemical formulation is about the same, but that
Uh-huh.
pressure. And so you went through the pressure of being a drug addict,
Yep.
had a realization that that was not the way you wanted to go. You then went into the gym. You started that personal discipline in the body, taking charge of your body. And once you put that together, what was your next move?
I mean, definitely I moved.
Okay.
I got on down the road that came down the south. I came south.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And that wasn't a good move.
Uh-huh.
And so then I called my father down here in Atlanta. He picked
Uh-huh.
me up, and I've been down here almost 30 years now.
Wow. Wow.
So after I got here, I got a little job. I worked that job for about 6 months. Then I quit, and I
Mm.
never looked back.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Within a year, I was making $100,000 a year.
Wow. Now before we go there, I wanna tie down. Now that's some of that A.L. Williams sales, right? Let's tie down.
Ready?
I want to tie down this fact. They often say when people come out of bondage, like a lot of times when we used to do seminars with guys who were coming out of prison, and they'd say, well, three things. Don't go back to the same playground with the same playmates and the same playthings. And so what you were just sharing is once you made that transformation, you had to physically move from that playground.
Yeah.
And
And I like the word, use the word shifted, you
uh-huh.
know? I
Yeah.
shifted, because I was in that middle lane and I was
Uh-huh.
behind this vehicle and the vehicle wasn't moving. I seen other vehicles passing on my left and right. So as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I took that shift, I
Mm.
realized that if I'm going to make it, I'm going to have to stay on that shift. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to stay in that. I had to create a whole new lane for myself. You
Mm.
know, I
Ooh.
had to,
Yeah.
because nobody was going to make that lane for me. So I had to carve that lane out. I had to make it straight. You know.
Man, let me tell you something. So Markadoo, this is like a roadmap, brother.
Yeah.
Okay? This is like a
Yeah.
roadmap for anybody coming out of the bondage, whether it's drugs. Some people just have a failure bondage. They just get so
Yeah.
accustomed to failing all the time, they think that's all there is, you know?
Oh man, I'm gonna help so many of them. I can't wait till we get there. Go ahead. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. So now you went from about 6 months to $100,000 position. Now, how do you
Yeah,
do
but
that?
about a year. About a
Mm-hmm.
year. Well, it's consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It's consistent. Before you know, before you know, I realized that if when I quit that job, I needed to make an almost equivalency of what I was making there,
Mm-hmm.
and and that was in '93.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably 50, 60, $75 a day or whatever it add up to.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew as long as I was making 50 a day, I was good,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then I said, okay, now I kept going. Then I got up to, I said, okay, I got my 50. Now I need to do, $75 a day,
Uh-huh.
then $100 a day. So I was competing against the dollar amount, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people don't understand numbers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to make $1 million, if you want to make over $1 million, how many figures do you have to make to be in to make a million? How many figures do you make a million?
7.
No,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
it's five.
5 figures. Okay.
You make 5 figures a month, you're a millionaire.
Oh, okay. 5 figures a month. Okay. Yeah.
Five
Okay.
figures a month, you're a millionaire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You do the numbers. You do five. Let's do um
Well, you look
five.
at 100,000. 100,000 is about $8,300 a month.
Okay,
Hundred
so
thousand a year. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
what that's what I meant. And so 100,000. So you make 5 figures A month. Yeah, you make 5 figures a month. You make $99,000 a month. That's $1 million.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 5 figures.
Yeah, yeah.
See, people are looking for 5 figures. I say, just work the 5 figures. You'll hit $1 million.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So $1 million would be about $84,000 a month. Will give you $1 million a year.
Not a month, maybe a day.
Well, let's see, 12 months, 10 months is 840,000. Yeah, 84,000 a month will give you $1 million a year.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I tell people, strive for the 5.
Okay.
And you'll hit the 7.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, you know, Steve Harvey was saying, he said, you want to make $1 million, then learn how to make 10. Then learn how to make 10 times. That's 100. Then learn how to make 100 10 times. Okay, that's 1,000. Yeah. So that's basically what duplication. Right. That's the key.
And watch those numbers, because numbers don't lie. People do.
Yeah, I got you.
Numbers don't lie. People do.
So now, once you started this in Atlanta, this training, and by the way, my son and my grandchildren all live in Covington.
Well, they need to come see me. Come on down to the warehouse. Take a tour of the whole plant.
Now, let's jump up there now. This warehouse, what's that about?
Well, that's warehouse. I started with $96. That's 10,000 square feet. I was across the street in a 3,000 square foot building. I've been in that building over 20 years.
Okay.
I've been on that street over 24 years. So I got over about $2 million in inventory in there.
So now the warehouse, now you have a couple of network marketing, a couple of marketing programs that you run right now, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that Chronic Killer is a beast. I mean, I can change people's lives with Chronic Killer and a couple of other products, and they ain't gonna have no money problems. If there's somebody that really understands a brand and understand marketing a brand in a virgin territory,
okay,
and you stick with it, and learn.
Now that's the key right there. Learn. Yeah. So now, when you evolved into, so you really stayed in sales and personal development. That's kind of in your lane. Yeah.
Forever. I don't know nothing else. I love selling. Selling. If you ain't selling something, you ain't making nothing.
Woo! If you ain't selling something, you ain't making nothing. You got that right. Well, you know, they say a job, you're only going to make enough on the job to keep you from quitting.
That's it. Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
That's true. See, I make sure that I get people to understand. Just focus on what would you like to sell, and make sure you got about a good 3 to 4 streams, and you'll never want for nothing. You won't want nothing.
Yeah.
You won't want for nothing.
Now, how do you teach that to the young folks?
Well, you got, just like I said, I'm no better than you. I'm no better. I'm no better than you. I started just like you. I started with nothing. But you gotta want to learn, and you gotta want to practice, and practice maybe. But you know, the thing about how I deal with the young folk, it don't have to be just you. 17 and up is my people. But the thing is that you have to have the right product or service, because there's only 3 ways to make money on the planet Earth, and that's products, services, and information. You got any one of those 3 combinations, you can get rich and wealthy. If you have all 3, you know you're going to make it. You got to have a great product, you got to have a great service to go with it, and then the information which you put into the market to make people want to buy.
Wow. Now, you know what? So, Markadoo, this is like Harvard Business School 01.
Yeah.
They go to school, man, 4 years to learn just that. The way you've broken it down, that's bottom line. Yeah. Wow.
And I also there's really what else is going to make it happen is simplicity
Mm,
and duplication. Those
mm,
two things. Because I developed when I was 10 years old, I developed a system that I'm the only one in that space. You can
mm-hmm,
go on YouTube, and it ain't nobody else in that space. I'm the
mm-hmm,
only one there.
mm-hmm,
And it's called the 5 principles to international marketing.
mm.
You
Okay.
want to learn something, go on YouTube and pull the 5 principles to international marketing.
Okay.
I taught myself that when I was 10.
Wow.
And it's branding,
Uh-huh.
marketing,
Uh-huh.
watch it. Branding, marketing, psychology,
Mm.
simplicity, and duplication.
Wow.
When you have those 5 elements, you go anywhere in the world and win. Anywhere, China, Russia, Siberia, it don't matter. If you know those 5 principles and you understand them, you know how to work them,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna win.
I just wrote so branding, psychology,
No, branding, marketing,
marketing.
psychology,
Uh-huh.
simplicity,
Uh-huh.
and duplication.
Man, let me tell you something. That's a PhD right there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because you think about this. What's the
Uh-huh.
number one thing you'll need to move your product around the globe if you're gonna move it around the globe? You need
Uh-huh.
a brand.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
how are you gonna move your brand around the globe? What are you gonna need? You need
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
How are you going to compete with all the other brands that are out there on the market? Psychology.
Uh-huh.
Once you created a market for yourself, you got to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do it, repeat, which is duplication. Just keep moving. Yeah.
I can see why you were successful in A.L. Williams.
I was
And so,
I was killing them.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, some of those guys are making
Uh,
six figures a month.
yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't get all the way up there
Uh-huh.
because what I said, that took over, the drugs took back over, but
Uh-huh.
I still got the mentality.
I got you. I have you. I got you. Beautiful, beautiful. So now you move from there. Now you have a book. I was looking at your book, and I see now why Simple Secrets 4, 5, 6, 7 to living the lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now what's now when did you write the book?
Believe it or not, that's still on the table. I was going to write it, but the person who was working with me started flaking. I said, I can't do it. So
Yeah.
I decided I'm going to release the book hopefully in the next month or two. It's
Mm-hmm.
from tragedy to triumph.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more of a self book. That's right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, man, it's funny when you're writing a book, the when we were writing the 12 Universal Laws of Success, I had an agent. And one day, this was like in the 90s. So the computer thing was not yet, we still had typewriters, you know, and the little computer thing was nothing but a souped up typewriter. It was the old Radio Shack. Okay. And we were working, and this lady was getting all my information, and I'm noticing, and I'm thinking that she's trying to take my stuff and print the book herself.
Wow.
And when you surround yourself with people, especially creative material, when you have your creative products, creative, I can say service, creative products, you have to be so careful who's around you because there are people who will steal your stuff. Let's just put it like
Yeah.
that. And I tell you, I'm not one of those kind of people, but this lady made me so angry, Sir Markadoo, that I took the computer. I didn't know. I said, you know what? If my stuff is in her computer, I took the computer and threw it out the window.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
I had my copy, but she had my copy on her computer, and I was seeing little things that let me know. And God is amazing, man. God will let you know stuff. What's the odds of you making a call to New York to somebody you don't know, referred by somebody you don't know, okay? And mention the top name for your book, and they say, "Oh yeah, that book's coming out soon."
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And when they mentioned the name of the agent, man, I went straight over there. We got that computer. It's gonna get an opportunity to fly tonight. Okay.
Damn.
So yeah, stuff like that happens. And to our listeners, it's important. Your creative product is like a gift from God.
Yeah.
It's like a child. You wouldn't leave your child with somebody who wasn't going to take care of it. You wouldn't
Yeah.
leave your child with somebody that's going to hurt it. And
Yeah.
so your creative ideas are just like that. Wow.
Yeah. The intellectual properties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So now when we look to the future, what's next for Sir Markadoo?
Wow. Well, one of the things that I'm doing, I'm working heavy in the affiliate world,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's so close to that multi-level marketing world
Mm-hmm.
that, but it's different. So
Mm-hmm.
affiliate is going to be a part of my world forever for the rest of my
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the affiliate things I'm getting ready to do is the fitness.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fitness person too. I used
Okay.
to be I used to be over 300 pounds, easy 300. I was 310, and I had high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, and cancer at the same time.
Mm.
And I was morbidly obese.
Mm.
And I decided I didn't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to work out and I trained myself. I trained myself so good I got down to 190. I went
Wow.
from 310 to 190.
Mm.
And um, so that's been kind of my life. I went up and down. And uh, I was about 260 when I decided I wanted to work out with a trainer in January.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for 8 months. I just kept coming down slowly but surely. And I lost about 60 pounds of fat and gained about 20 pounds of muscle.
Mm.
So I'm
Wow.
about 215, 220 right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm solid, but I'm getting ready to start training
Uh-huh.
virtually.
Okay.
So I'm going to do it virtually. I'm going to have customers all over the world. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, in different languages as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, I'm going to do some online classes for like $3 to $5 a class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
$3. You
Mm-hmm.
can get a class for $3. And so the the whole premise of this workout world
Mm-hmm.
is uh mental health.
Yeah.
I I deal with mental health. I was doing some video shoots this morning, and before I done anything, we talk about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you in the? This is how you got to think. This is how you got. My job is to help you and help the world.
Mm.
That type of thing. I mean, I'm 63% and up
Mm.
of our people, Black people especially, they believe that mental health issues is a personal attack, is a personal conviction to them. I mean, it messes them up. They think it's they'll never get out of it. They never
Mm.
get away,
Okay.
and that's a lie from hell.
Mm.
You can get out of anything.
Yeah.
So my thing is mental and then physical.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your body and get it stronger. My job is not to make you high school skinny.
Mm-hmm.
My job is to get you stronger
Mm-hmm.
and healthier,
All right.
mentally and physically,
Mm-hmm.
and turn around and help you monetarily.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually I'm going to take my event, my project, and I'm going to turn it into affiliate, so
Mm-hmm.
people get paid for
Mm-hmm.
everybody they turn on to my for life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I'm going. That's the future. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
write some more books. I'm gonna travel the world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing
Wow.
books in different languages,
Yes. Yes.
and
Wow.
I'm gonna open up the floodgates. And I want to make sure that people understand mental health, and they're gonna understand where I come from. You
Mm.
know, and that where I come from, there's people that have been through much worse, much worse than me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I believe, and I know for a fact that the next wave of business owners are going to be ex-convicts,
Mm.
ex-prostitutes, ex-gangbangers, ex-drug dealers,
Mm-hmm.
all the exes. They are coming because they have nowhere else to go
Mm.
but to economics.
Yes.
If you're ever going to be somebody, you got to own your own world.
Mm.
Everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur. So
Mm-hmm.
that means We got plenty of customers. Don't worry about flooding the market.
Yes,
Don't,
got you.
don't worry about flooding your bank account.
Woo! I want to flood in my bank account.
That's crazy. And so my saying is,
Uh-huh.
if you're going to do that,
Uh-huh.
I say when you master community service,
Uh-huh.
you will master customer service.
Ooh, that's another one. When you master community service, you will master customer service. And that's powerful. That's powerful, really.
And it's
And
true.
yeah.
And it's
Oh
true.
yeah.
The more you
Yeah.
work for God and his people, the more freedom you're going to have.
Wow. Good brother, I tell you, we could talk forever. A couple of things I want to just highlight. The one thing I hear throughout everything you do is self-awareness and self-discipline.
That's right. And self-development.
Self-awareness, self-discipline, self-development. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I hear, and that's like the foundation for change.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
That's that lane. That's
Yeah.
that shift.
Yeah.
If you're going to shift, you better do it with those things. Because if you don't do it with that, you're going to do the same old things when you shift over. You better come in there with some new stuff.
Mm.
If you cross into that lane, you better come in with some new stuff.
Whew. I tell you, man, if we were in church, we'd take up a collection.
Take up the collection anyway. Amen. Praise the Lord. Take up the plate, baby. I can send it to my cash app.
That's it. Well, some Markadoo, I tell you, man, we've had a marvelous time. For those listening today, I want you to go back. You want to play this thing over and over. I'm going to tell you something, folks. The diamonds this young man has dropped on this world right now in this broadcast, that these are the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
If you don't learn anything else, you can take what you learn in this program here tonight, and you can take it, and it will take you to the bank.
Yes. And I try to lead in the right way. I would love to tell them about my company. I would love to tell them how to get in touch with me.
Well, please do that. Do that. Tell them. Give all your contact information, because you're building something. You're building a dynasty. You're building a legacy. Yep. You're not building just for you. You're building for the world. So how do people contact you, my brother?
Easy. If you're here local, you can come on over to the warehouse and take a tour. When you get there, say, the owner said that you all give tours. And we absolutely do. So there's 2571 Park Central Boulevard in Decatur, Georgia, 30035. Now, the number to the warehouse is 404-286-6700. If you want to reach me personally, you want to call me direct, then it's 404-578-3549.
Wow. Well, not yes.
No, and I just want to, go on my social media. Make sure you got my name is Sir, SIR, then Markadoo, MARKAD, D as in David, OO. Just go on YouTube, go on Facebook, IG. But the main one is that Facebook is where I got a lot of juice. You want to get it, you want to know how to a lot of things, you better go over there now and get them, because once I begin to go worldwide, a lot of that stuff is coming down and it's going to be sold, not told. A lot of it, because they say the stories to be what? The stories to be sold, not told. And that's one of the biggest lies that was told to mankind. The stories to be told, then sold.
Okay. Told and sold. Wow.
Yeah, because you ain't gonna believe if I tell you what you need to hear, you don't know it all. So you go, man, I need that information. I'll buy that.
Yes.
But if I don't tell you nothing, you ain't gonna buy from me.
That's it. Well, you show value. Well, I'd like to wrap up with this, and you shared so many things. But if I say, well, so Markadoo, what's one nugget? If a person says, I got to learn one thing, one nugget that can be that nugget that can transform their lives, what would that nugget be?
Go to YouTube and pull up the number 5 principles to TO international marketing. The 5 principles to TO international marketing. Because it's going to teach you so many things. You're going to be like, wow, I didn't even know that. Just go on YouTube. That'll change your life.
All right. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Any final words of wisdom, of sharing, of just your essence? I mean, you've taken us from Boston, from the Sugar Shack to Atlanta, and to Decatur, and from the drugs to the castle.
Yes. Now I want to take you to the bank.
Okay.
Take it to the bank. This is really profound at this point. It's really about our youth and young adults. If once we begin to universally accept the fact that if you're ever going to have a movement, the youth and young adults have to be a part of it, or you don't have a movement. You just don't. So if you lead into that movement, which is Samoa, the strong young minds of America, is not all the way put together, but I had it for some years. But we're going to release it in the early part of next year. When you under the apex of that organization is mental health. When they enter into our organization, you have to be what's the word? You have to be talk about your lifestyle. You have to have that test. You gotta talk it out. And so when we talk it out, we want to meet people where your mind's at and what your needs are. The youth and young adults are definitely our present, not just our future.
Okay.
Got to deal with the mental health. Mental health, when you deal with mental health, you will convert to mental wealth. So you got to hold on. Go after the mental wealth. Go for the freedom. But they need help. And focus on the youth and young adults and their parents. And you got traction. But you got to make sure you have the right products, the right services, and the right information to make the hookup, because they're not going to come to you. If the one question I want every one of you to ask your youth and young adults in any vicinity, if they're real next to you, or you go to a school or wherever you go, I want you to get in a habit of just asking the youth and young adult. Ask them, say, do you want to make some extra money? Do you want to have your own? You want to be your own boss? Do you want your own business? And I guarantee you 98% of them are going to say yes. Okay. But the one question they're going to ask you after that is that, how do I do it? And that's when you will say Heavenly Body Products and chronickiller.com.
Woo! All right now. Well, Sir Markadoo, I'm going to tell you, man, on behalf of everybody who watches this video, and this video, we're gonna transcribe this thing, because everybody who watches this video and hears these words, you heard some secrets, and you often say there's no secrets. There's this stuff that you don't know. The information is always there. It's just that at that particular time you don't know it. Well, the message and the words that you heard tonight are many of the things that people would say were secrets, but it's a new revelation.
That's it.
To give you the power to help you be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do, and have anything you desire. Always knowing that the best is yet to come.
That's it.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Woo!
Thank you, King. I appreciate you. You stay blessed by the best and nothing less.
All right. You too.
Okay, King. Okay. Peace and love.
Peace and love.